ਸ਼ਹੀਦਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਯਾਦਾਂ 'ਤੇ ਮੇਲੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਸੀਸ ਨਿਵਣ ਸਮਾਧਾਂ 'ਤੇ ਦੀਵੇ ਜਗਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਪ੍ਰਣਾਮ ਸ਼ਹੀਦਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਪ੍ਰਣਾਮ ਸ਼ਹੀਦਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਪ੍ਰਣਾਮ ਸ਼ਹੀਦਾਂ ਨੂੰ।
We've heard the history, we've heard the stories of Sardar-e-Azam Shaheed Udham Singh so many times, and you've heard the word Jallianwala Bagh so many times as well. And we're finally here it's become a culture of Punjabi Sangeet, Punjabi music, talking about Shaheed-e-Azam Sardar Udham Singh or Bhagat Singh. But we are talking about specifically about Shaheed-e-Azam Sardar Udham Singh today. And Jallianwala Bagh, it was 13 April 1919, Jallianwala Bagh च भरमा मेला लग गया। उत्थे ऊधम सिंह भी सूरमा सी सेवा कर रहा। अज मौत ने पासा पलटिया, सिर ते घुमदी मौत बला, आंडैर बंदूकां बीड़ियां करता ठा ठा कि बच्चे बुढ़े बेगमां दित्ते मौत दी घाट चढ़ा। And this was the place where it all happened, Jallianwala Bagh. So I'm going to show you inside and show you the coup where people went and actually try to jump into the well to save their lives. There were children, there were women, there were mothers, there were fathers, there were brothers, there were sisters, and they all lost their lives because General Dyer came through this. I mean, this is a historical gully, and this is the way General Dyer came through. And it was a mila, it was a gathering, it was a peaceful gathering on that day, on the 13th of April. It was a Vaisakhi gathering in 1919. It was a gathering on that day, on the 13th of April 1919, and it was a peaceful gathering. People were just here with their children, with their husbands, with their wives, with their moms, with their dads. And this was the very gully. This was the only escape route for anybody. This was the only way out. And Sanjay, if you go over there, this was a gully. This was the only way in and the only way out. And this is where the British forces, must have been a Stain gun at that time, and this is where he put his gun so that nobody could escape from this gully. This gully was blocked off, and he just killed everybody brutally. Just shot them dead. But now it's become a park, a theme park. This is a place where people were fired at from. This is where he put his gun, and this is where he just shot anybody who was, anything that was moving, whether were animals, whether were people, he just shot them dead. And that's why we don't forget that day. And we have singers singing about it, we have books written about it, because we mustn't forget our history. Our history is the most vital point of us being, and it is our history that actually makes or shapes the future. And that's the internal light that burns forever to remind us of that dreadful day. But as you can see now, a lot of people are obviously here enjoying the park as it is with their families. But the real reason they come here is because of that tragedy, that tragedy that happened that day. And you can see some of the buildings, probably still the same brickwork, possibly that used to be then. That's the that's been resurrected, as in all the people who died, all the people who were shaheed here, in their memory. And obviously it's surrounded, so that was the only way out of that gully. That gully was the only way out that people could have gone out. And he put his guns right there so that people just couldn't escape. He came here to brutally murder everybody who'd gathered here. And that's why Shaheed-e-Azam Sardar Udham Singh followed him wherever he went, became his gardener, did whatever he had to do. And that day in Caxton Hall, he reminded him of what he did on this day, 13th of April 1919, at Jallianwala Bagh. Is the original? Are these the original buildings? Wow. Some of the buildings there, as you can see, obviously the original buildings have been kept. Nobody lives in them now, right, Sanjay? I mean, Sanjay is my cameraman, but a very knowledgeable person, and very grateful to him actually for bringing us here, and he's teaching me a lot as I'm going along as well. So those are the buildings there. Nobody obviously lives in them now, but those are the original buildings. And that's the bullet hole. Those are the bullet holes, right? Wow. So it wasn't just a single gun he had a firing squad with him, right? Wow. And they've marked the bullet holes as well. Can we just get a close-up of the bullet holes? The original, these are original wall. These are original bullet holes of that day. Obviously the few bullets that possibly missed somebody or possibly hit somebody and then they came through, you know. But this is a history, guys. This is the Jallianwala Bagh's history. And again, on that day, it wasn't just the Sikhs here. It was Hindus, Muslims. It was freedom fighters of the day, and just people generally just getting together for the gathering, and just young children, little babies like these. They were here as well, and you know, people of my dad's age and my mum's age and my sisters and people of my wife's age, and they were all here that day as well, but never really left. They just came. They just came and just never went, really. But they left a legacy behind for us. To the well and the memorial. That's the memorial which has been resurrected in honor of all those who died here that day. And that there is the well where people just jumped into it. It was this very deep well. The people just jumped into the well, threw the children into the well just to see if they could save them. Some were saved, some weren't saved, but apparently it is said that the well just filled up with bodies on top of each other until it just started to overflow with bodies, really. And as he says, I don't know if you can sort of zoom into that, he says, Shahidi Ku, the martyr's well. So you can see that. I'm glad they've kept the original buildings, though. That's brilliant, that is. To the authorities, to Amritsar, actually, for keeping that. That people actually jumped into to save their lives. I think can we have a little peek inside or something just to see how deep it was that day? Obviously, it wasn't surrounded that day. They had nothing here, so people were just jumping in to save their lives, really. We'll just wait for these. Oh, go on. Yeah, just pushing. We're in Punjab now. We don't have to wait for anybody to move out the way. Sanjay's obviously from here, and I keep him being polite, and I keep sort of waiting for people. People have thrown money in there, and there's bits of memorial sort of memorabilia in there as well. But imagine that full of bodies of children and people. You know, because they wanted to save their lives, not because they wanted to drown in the well, but they wanted to save their lives from the bullets that were being fired at them, and they were just caged and trapped and just shot at. say? Yeah. As you can read, it says, to escape the deadly firing, many people fell into this well. About 120 dead bodies were recovered from it. And it's written in every language. You have English there, you have Urdu here, you have Punjabi here, and then you have Hindi here as well. And it just represents that day, it wasn't only the Punjabis or the Sikhs here, everybody was here. And in those days, people lived side by side, fought for the country's freedom side by side. Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, Isai, they fought for the freedom of the country. This is the Shahidi Chitrashala is called, and Chitrashala means a picture house. So this is a picture house of all the Shaheeds. Possibly, sorry, I have prescription sunglasses. I have to put them on because I can't read without them. So that's Chaudhry Bagamal. That's, okay, we don't have a name there, possibly. There is a name there. Ratan Devi, that's Ratan Devi. Mahasha Ratan Chand. Sanjay, these are the people, in the death of Javese, these are Shaheed who fought for the country. All right, okay. You ready? Oh, rescue, okay. So these are some of the pictures of people who died here, but then there was other people who not cleared up, but who picked up all the Shaheed body and they, did the funerals in the ritual way. And here is the hero, the Sher, the Lion of Punjab, that is Shaheed Azam Sardar Udham Singh, who at that date saw what happened with his own eyes, and then he went and took revenge, or reminded the Gore that what they did that day was brutally wrong, just killing innocent people. And that's a big sort of picture of maybe that scene that was here that day, really. This is the great Madan Lal Dingre, another freedom fighter, and he saw some people were patronizing some Indians, and took action, decided to fight. Oh, I've heard of this man's name. I remember reading a book, and it's called Martyrs of India, and I remember reading it, but I never saw a picture of this guy, Dr. Shaifuddin Kichalu and Dr. Satyapal. So the freedom fighters weren't just, the people carrying revolvers, the young youth, but it had to start from come down from upwards, and from below, going sort of coming from upwards, it had to go down, and then from down going upwards as well. So the freedom movement had to start from everybody. And that's Shahid Azam Sardar Udham Singh. Maybe when he changed his appearance to get into England, he tried it to get in as a Sikh. He couldn't. Then he changed his name. So that he could actually get into England and get a visa and take revenge for this dreadful day on the 13th of April 1990. What happened at Jallianwala Bagh? It is said, and I apologize if I get this wrong, but it is said that day, to get into England to take revenge, that Udham Singh changed his name to Muhammad Singh Azad, or Azad Muhammad Singh, one of the names, to represent that he wasn't a Sikh, or he wasn't a Muslim, or he wasn't a Hindu, but he was a freedom fighter of India. ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਹਾਦਸਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੀਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਉਮਰ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸੀ ਉਦੋਂ ਜਦੋਂ 1947 ਦੇ ਅੱਛਾ ਕੌਣ ਸੀਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੀਗੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗੇ ਅੱਛਾ ਜੀ। ਪਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਤਾਂ ਹੋਵੇਗੀ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਉਸ ਦਿਨ ਇੱਥੇ?
ਇੱਥੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੁਛ ਹੋਇਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੱਢਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਰੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਬਿਆਦਰੀ ਦੇ ਇਕੱਠ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਲਸਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ
ਜੀ।
ਉਸ ਵਕਤ ਡਾਇਰ ਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਹੁਕਮ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਘੇਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੰਨਿਆ ਸੀ। ਕਰੀਬ 3600 ਆਦਮੀ ਮਰ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ। ਮੈਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੁਛ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਵਾਧੂ
ਔਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਆਏ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਇੱਥੇ?
ਮੈਂ ਆਇਆਗਾ ਰਾਜਸਥਾਨ ਤੋਂ।
ਰਾਜਸਥਾਨ ਤੋਂ? ਅੱਛਾ ਜੀ। ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ
ਹਾਂ
ਹੋ?
ਹਾਂ
ਇਹ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਦੱਸਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ?
ਹਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਉਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਲਿਆਂਵਾਲਾ ਬਾਗ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਹੋਏ ਹੈ। ਉਦਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਸੀਗਾ, ਸਾਰੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਸੀਗੇ।
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਧਰ ਬੈਠਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਿਰਸਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਬੈਠੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਵਿਰਸਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਉਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ?
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਸਮਝਾਉਣ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਸਮਝਾਉਣ ਨੂੰ ਚੰਗਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ। ਹਾਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੇ ਅੱਜ ਸਮਝਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਦੱਸਾਂਗੇ।
ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ। There you go, hear it from wherever you are. Ityas is very important because Ityas shapes the future. History shapes the future. It's very important. I'm not saying, go around beating people, killing people, not that, but just to understand who we are and where we come from. And that's Jallianwala Bagh. That day they didn't have a way out, but we have a way out, so it's time for us to leave Jallianwala Bagh. We can actually walk out, but that day those people couldn't go anywhere. The guns were right here alongside here, and this is the direction the bullets were coming from, so obviously they couldn't fire from this side. They couldn't run to this direction, they had to run in that direction, because he had blocked the exit that people could possibly leave. But this is now turned into a museum here, and we're not allowed to film in there, so it says strictly no photography allowed.